Hello, my comic book collecting friends. I decided to make a video of the comic books I acquired this week. I got some really interesting comic books and some really great deals. So let's take a look at them. They're right here. Okay, let's start with the comic books I picked up this week at my local comic book store in Green Bay, Wisconsin. Green Bay, Wisconsin has a very nice local comic book store. If you're ever in Green Bay, I highly recommend visiting the comic book store. Okay, so we'll start with this pile here that has Conan on the top. This pile only cost, each comic book on this pile only cost 50 cents. They were in the dollar bin, and the dollar bin this week was on sale, half off, so 50 cents a comic book. So let's look at these. I have Conan here, a 65 center, and these comic books are all in great shape. I'm very, very picky about condition. So I went through these. My wife actually went through the box, picked out one she thought I'd like. I like older stuff from the Silver Age, the Bronze Age, so the stuff from the 80s, especially early 80s and earlier, I like the best. Bronze Age stuff is my favorite, and here's a Conan, a 65 center, really nice condition, and that was 50 cents. This one's in really nice. I ended up with a lot that were like 75 centers, which is kind of the mid 80s, late 80s. But this one's in really nice shape. There's probably a lot of glare from because there aren't the bags here, but I opened all the bags. I look at them. I make sure that they're in really nice condition, like basically unread, no bends. No damage at all. These are really nice condition. So there's another 50-cent comic book. Here's one that has a cover price of 60 cents. The All-Star Squadron. Really nice. There was a lot of these in really nice condition. So I got I picked up any in nice condition. There's another 75 center All-Star. Another 75 cent All-Star, really nice shape. Like I said, all these are in really, really top condition. That's why I picked them. And another one, another All-Star Squadron, 75 center. Here is Millennium Week 1 number 1, 75 center, and it's in beautiful shape, like near mint. Nothing wrong with it at all. 50 cents that cost me. And this one I thought was really cool because it looks like it has an old cover. Oh, there's a glare there, but from the it's really cool cover. Superman's ex-pal Jimmy Olsen. Kind of looks like an old vintage Silver Age kind of look to it. Really cool looking, and that was only 50 cents also. So, alright. Alright, let's move on to the next pile here. I'll pause this for a minute and pull those over. Okay, here's the next pile we'll look at. This pile is also from my local comic book store. And in the store, the owner has some boxes of $5 comic books that are comic books from the Silver Age or the Bronze Age. And they're usually in nice condition. Their boxes are random. But we went through and found 3 this week that we really liked, thought were in really nice condition. This interesting The Inferior 5 is a 12-cent comic book. Really nice condition. Beautiful. Like I was saying before, I look at all the comic books I buy, check them for damage. This one is high-end, high grade. Only $5. Really like the cover. We have Batman on the cover, Superman on the cover, and the Inferior 5 here in the middle. Very interesting. I think these guys are kind of supposed to be funny characters. Not as serious, comedic. Alright, next comic book on the pile. The Superboy 12 center. Really great condition. Really nice. Like I say, high grade, $5, 12 center, Silver Age, older comic book. And then this one, oh wow, this is awesome. This This Brave and the Bold presents Batman and Wildcat. And this is really great condition, other than one thing, and this is probably why it was in the $5 bin. It has the name written on the cover here, Kathy Ricky. So Kathy, if you're out there, I have your comic book. And otherwise it's in really nice shape, high grade. Really love the cover. I think the cover was done by somebody I know named Neal Adams. And he was at my local comic book store 2 times. And you could go and get an autograph from him. And it was free. The comic book store owner had Neal Adams come into his comic book store. This was several years ago, I believe. He has passed, Neal Adams. But this was maybe 10 years ago. I'm just estimating. 2 times he had Neal Adams come in, sign comic books for free. It was really cool. And this is one of his covers. Alright, so next we'll move on to what I think are the most interesting comic books I acquired this week. So just a minute, I'll move those up and pause the camera here. Alright, well these I think are the most interesting comic books I acquired this week. These are French-Canadian comic books. They are in the language on these comic books is French. And I purchased these off of eBay from a seller in Quebec, Canada, who did not communicate well in English. I don't think the seller understood what I was writing a whole lot. It took a while to get these, and the seller to send me an invoice for the combined shipping on these, but eventually it happened. And I was supposed to get 5 of them, but I think the seller must have not had 2 of them and sent me 3 and sent me a refund. I was a little confused because I thought I was still getting 5 and thought he was maybe refunding me some shipping, but sent me a refund and it must have been on 2 of them. But I'm very happy. I'm very happy that I got these 3 because they're very interesting, very rare. I think. I don't think there's a lot of these out there. And I think the most interesting, well, let's look at them all. It looks like this is the Legion of Superheroes. It says number 4, $1.25. I think that must be Canadian money, of course. $1.25, and it's in French. And that's pretty cool. But the next one is Legion of Superheroes, and it looks like the Teen Titans. And I mean, it says Titans. A lot of this, some of this is in English, but a lot of this is in French. But this is I think the most interesting comic book, because on the cover is a coupon for 40 cents off, I think, some potato chips. I can't read French, but the picture is of potato chips, and it says yum yum, and it looks like, I'm thinking that's 40 cents off. If you can read French, you can tell me what that says. And these comics are really cool because sometimes I've ordered French comic books that look like reprints and they're black and white on the inside, but these are color. They, like, look at the ad in here, this G.I. Joe ad for toys. I mean, these look like the United States, U.S. American comic books, just everything's in French instead of English, and it's pretty cool. Color pages. Oh, these are really interesting. Like I said, I really like that coupon there. That right on the cover is really interesting, because somebody thinking that, oh, whoever bought this is going to cut the cover, use their coupon. This one also is, again, really interesting. It looks like Hulk. It looks like Incroyable. Must be the Incredible Hulk. 95 cents Canadian. Really cool cover there. And it's like this is also, oh, look at that. Look at that ad in there. Really interesting color. Oh, this is really cool looking. There's another ad there. Oh, sometimes what I like about comic books the most is that sometimes, of course, the characters, the story, but older comic books Really like the ads. To look at that makes me remember what was going on, because I grew up in the 1980s. That's when I was a kid, the early 80s. And oh, look at that McDonald's. Look at this. Look at this ad. Wow. That is really cool. I haven't even went through these a whole lot yet. That is really cool. Yeah, so I hope you enjoyed this video.